live. Got a little music playing in the background. It is time for drawing. Hello everyone. Time for the weekly drawing stream. And definitely looking forward to this. Looking forward to seeing where we go. Got a slightly different arrangement here tonight of my supplies and such. Been rearranging the room a little bit. You might notice a little bit of Satsuki and Mei back there from My Neighbor Totoro. Hey, Kuma. Excuse me. My goodness. I should probably get some tissues. I need some tissues around here. Let me get some tissues. 1 second. Because I can tell them. Then we will get started. I'm doing well. How are you, Kuma? Gotta love that. Just as I begin, I sneeze and have to run out and grab some tissues. Ah, there we go. Excuse me. Glad to hear you're doing well. Now I can get my headphones going. We can get started on our practice. In all honesty, this is one of those nights where I could use a little more time for some other projects, you know, but that's okay. Just a random sneeze, I think. I haven't been having too many allergy problems. I probably will, though. I have bad allergies, so I just have to live with that and be ready for it. That is just kind of what life sometimes does to you. And I gotta get my camera. Ooh. Oh. Let's move that to a position where you can actually. Yeah. That's better. Okay. So let's start with some line reps as usual. Just get the hand working the way we want to. Get some lines going. Thank you. Yep, wish I could take credit for the mug, but that was a gift from my D&D group. We actually had D&D last night, where the player characters were faced with a murder. Their patron, a rather nice guy, Corbin Foe Cleaver, was having a big party at his manor house and turned up dead. So the PCs, the player characters, proceeded to investigate. Ooh, circles are not easy. So these bits of fuzz off here. And they did eventually find the murderer, or so it appears, but they had to. Gosh, where are all these hairs coming from? We had to stop the session. We ran out of time just before they could actually apprehend the murderer in question. So we will have to see where that goes next week. I got to do a little bit of planning to figure out exactly what the person's going to do. Pretty high-level spellcaster. I've also got to figure out how to prevent the players from just casting a spell to bring the victim back from the dead. So these line reps are practice to get my hands moving. If you just jump right into drawing characters, you know, your hand's a little wobbly, you're not really doing things. As you can see, the difference between my circles up here versus down there. If I do a few of these simple drawings, I'm kind of loosened up hand-wise. It kind of gets me into the flow, if you will. And it's also good practice, warm-ups, exactly. It's also good practice for certain shapes that one draws a lot. You draw a lot of lines, a lot of circles. So getting used to drawing a few of these just kind of gets you moving and reminds you about how to actually draw, which you'd think would be easy, but actually requires a significant amount of thought. I mean, it's really easy to just become automatic, right? Without remembering how much work, how much thought goes into drawing. I can just get used to drawing nice things here. No. I'll have to remember to delete that particular file. Okay. That feels a little bit more warmed up. So we've got okay. And then same idea here. Draw some people. Remind myself of what people actually are shaped like. One thing I never want to do accidentally is get used to the idea of a particular style and not always come back to real people. You know, it's too easy to get heavily stylized to the point where your characters just don't look real anymore, or don't look based on reality. I learned those particular steps from a guy online called Runehammer, where he's actually a D&D guy, but also an excellent line artist. And I need to filter this music a little better. But yeah, he's done a lot of line art in his day, and those are some of his tips. They really help me just kind of get my lines under control, if you will. And then these other practices come from The Natural Way to Draw by Nicolaitis. I think that's how you pronounce his name. A bunch of different exercises in here about drawing and how to do that. By the way, I do know I've done a bit of investigation, and the reason for the slow video on here, the choppy video, is the CPU on this machine. Apparently OBS isn't too happy with that, so hopefully in the next few weeks I can fix that just by upgrading the CPU. I just need to wait until I actually have the money to do so. So, alright, so let's go ahead and do a contour drawing of this guy here. Again, just kind of reminding myself, do the head, ear, the gun, come down, thumb, gun, knuckles, sleeve. Really weird contour drawing here. That's one of the reasons why it's useful. I mean, you could absolutely spend all day just doing this exercise and really get used to the amount of time it takes to draw a figure, and then from there realize, oh, okay, you know, I can go a little faster, a little slower. Certainly would not be bad exercises to go through. Feels like it's turning out pretty well, though. Again, it's just kind of random practice of things. Yeah, it feels about right. And then head comes up, ear. Not bad! That's pretty close. Thanks, yeah, that's the plan. I also plan to actually upgrade this camera here. There are better cameras on the market, so basically I'll upgrade both of them eventually, but I'll start with the main one and then the other one. They're just, a couple $100 each. So, like I said, not something I can't afford, but something I cannot afford to just drop on today. I draw weekly. I basically draw whenever I do the live stream here. This is my practice. I would like to draw more, but I find if I don't have this going on, other things fill my time. So, for example, my D&D players will very soon be encountering this particular thing, a D&D adventure called Wild Space, where they will be heading out into space on a sort of a wooden sailing ship spaceship, and face all sorts of weird creatures and this crazy environment. See if we have some illustrations here. This is the big thing they will be encountering, and then there's the ship they'll be on. So in D&D, there are these things called spelljammers, which are basically sailing ships that go through space via magic. And so I've been preparing this particular adventure, and so if I didn't have the drawing stream scheduled, then I would not be drawing. I would be working on that, and so that's why I have the drawing stream scheduled, so I actually get some progress in on the drawing. All right, so I'm not going to do any more of those practices, I think, for tonight. I'm going to jump right into the super deformed stuff. I feel like I'm reasonably warmed up by that, and need to start working on the super deformed stuff. So we had our character from last time that we drew to some extent, and let me pull her up so we can look at that. Let's see here. Be helpful to do. Yes, Alice. So we have a couple drawings of Alice here. There's one. There's the other. Let's pull her down. It's a little hard to see. Alright, so let's... Yep, so there's Alice. And so we want to keep on playing around with Alice and look at her from some multiple perspectives. And we'll try to avoid the ad. If we can. Can we? There we go. That's kind of annoying, though, because then we can't see all of the browser window. Whatever. We'll allow Mike Holmes into our live for a little while. I think that's his name. So we want to play around with her. That's weird. Why is that not? One second. For some reason, it's not letting me bounce off of that window anymore. How weird. One second. Why can't I? So my... Okay, there we go. Sorry. Bounce up a thing that was obscuring everything. Alright, so yeah, like we were saying, you want to see her from multiple angles. In fact, let's do. I will save off Alice and put her here. There she is. All right. Thanks, Kuma. Yeah, I'm quite happy. So now we need to draw her from multiple angles. She's not much good to us if we can only see her from the front. So what does she look like from the side? So first off is to get a feel for what these art styles look from the side. So there's a side view. So we have sort of bangs and then hair comes down. It's actually pretty similar to her hairstyle. So that's good. In fact, that's pretty close to her, actually, in terms of clothes and so forth. So let's use that as a basis. And can I? It's kind of an awkward position. What we'll do is we will do that and then just put a little thing there so that will not go anywhere. That'll work. All right. So Alice sides. All right. So we know, but the ruler. Learn this trick. Could I make a video sharing these tips? That's a good idea. I'll look into that. So we did this in 6 cm sections before. 18, 24. Oops. Although I came down. Okay. 6, 12, 18, 24. Okay. So now I have some reference marks for how this should all go. So we know her head should be about yay big. So let's do those bangs. So the bangs come around kind of like that. Maybe a little more full. And then come down like that. I think I'm a little too high on the bangs there. So we will kind of do that. Come in a little bit. And they come down to an ear. And then the hair. That's kind of a weird hair thing. See right there, that corner of the hair? Okay, well, we'll just live with it for now. I think I'm a little hard to tell. I think I need to go a little further down. Let's make that ear a little bigger, and then start the neck there. Okay, and then we have cute little nose and sort of chin comes around like that. All right, we'll start there. I can tell already that's a bit too much on the angle, so we'll curve that in a little bit and play around with that angle. And then the hair, we'll give her her shirt. What does her shirt look like? Simple shirt. Come down like that maybe. There's the sleeve. Goes down like that. That'll do. And the hair needs to kind of curl out. Yeah, okay, so it comes down fairly straight. We'll try that. I think we should have more back here. Okay, and then the skirt. One thing I like is that idea of having a pleat in the front and then sort of pleats behind of the skirt. That just kind of gives it that skirt sense, if you will. And then we'll give her fine. And then her arms will come down. They come down a fair ways, actually, in that version. And again, we'll just go very simple on her arms there. So what we're doing with the eyes. The eyes are very simple. Basically, we had a line up here. And of course, we'll have our little things. A line down here. And then basically we went like that on the eyes. Okay, give her a little smile. All right. She does look like a little chibi Kagali. That is awesome. I had not noticed the Kagali aspect, and good on you for remembering the name. Kagali Yula Asha, or however that went. Okay, and then obviously we have her eyebrows. All right, so what is this? What am I doing wrong here? This snub nose shape does not feel right to me. Let's look at some other examples of profiles, because I think we got that wrong. Or more accurately, I think that's not the right shape for this style. Okay, so there we have... yep, the nose comes down at kind of an angle. That makes a little more sense. So let's make her a little less snub-nosed. And... that's better. That's very cute. Okay, good. I'm also thinking I could use some more light over here. I will put it on my list to get some more lights and some lamps onto this now that I'm looking at it. Anyway, so yeah, she's looking a little better. I think her hair is a little bit too much. So let's pull back on the hair a bit. Let's try that. Is that better? Yeah, that seems more right. Like, she has hair, but not that much hair. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. She's a little psycho on the smile. That's better. Okay, let's ink that and see what we end up with. So the angle on the hair, I'm gonna go. That's an interesting question. Do we do? Okay, yeah, we want that. Right. Fiddle with the angle a little bit as I'm going. The hair should always come down to a point. So I'm gonna change this up a little bit. And that comes down like this to the ear. Let's get her shirt in. There we go. Make sure that's nice and dry. See, I'm kind of shaky on my lines there, which I don't like. I want a much more confident line. But I think that's part of the practice. See, that's a nice confident line. It's not entirely straight. It still has the sense that a human drew it. But it feels a lot more, a lot less wobbly. Yeah, that's weird. The way the hair goes. Oh, that's what. Okay, that's what that is. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's finish up the clothing. Make this a fairly soft set of lines. Thanks, Kuma. Yeah, I'm very impressed that this is all working out this well, just by practicing every week. Okay, let's get her face in. Then we'll do it from another angle. Maybe opposite angle, but sort of 3/4 view or 1/4 view. Okay. Going with a thinner ink here, thinner pen. I will admit also, I was watching Gunbuster earlier today, and just the quality of the art there, being made by more or less, well, just being made by kind of anime fans. I mean, they were at a full studio by that point. But just seeing the level of quality there was definitely inspiring. Cool. She's cute. All right. There's Alice from the side. Obviously, a lot more experimentation, but yeah, Kaguli was a really neat character in Seed. One of the ones that definitely changed some of the most over the course of that show. Let me go ahead and make that hair a little more pointed. There we go. I mean, I have so many ways to improve. I've got to learn to color, right? Okay. Coloring is a whole nother side. I will probably end up coloring digitally. Like, that just makes sense. I mean, I have nothing against coloring as with watercolors or whatever, but just in general. So I need to fix that. What did I do wrong there? The line is just, this line is just, it's too funky. And I'm trying to figure out how it should go down. I'm thinking we need... Yeah. I no longer fear whiteout. She may be a time traveler. One thing I've learned is this takes a while to dry. At least this brand. There are apparently other brands that dry almost immediately, but we'll wait a little bit. Yep, just a little tacky. But yeah, I'm just learning all this as I go, basically. If you go to my DeviantArt site at Brent Newhall, you'll see my early drawing attempts, and they are definitely amateur. So this is all just experimentation and drawing things and trying things and seeing where it goes. So if I can get Alice nailed down, then I may move on from there to another character so I can start doing, like we said, some sort of maybe Azumanga Daioh style little comedy. I think it'd be fun. And just play around with art styles and such. We'll see. Looks cool without the line, yeah. Okay. 10. So I think this needs to do... Yeah. That better? It's a little better. It's still weird. Yeah, I'm not happy with that line. But I don't really know how to fix it. Perhaps it should slope back up more? Yeah, I think that's the problem. Okay. Speaking of practice and experimentation. Let's see what happens when we white out multiple times. This might end up being something where I would have to fix it in digitally. Just go in and clean up the lines. But this is useful to learn, is how much you can change with something. Now, you can already tell. We'll see how much you can tell if I get this close up. You can see how the whiteout is starting to blur. You know, the whiteout isn't going to completely cover that. And it creates, in other words, the whiteout is not the same color as the paper. So it doesn't completely erase a line. So that is the downside of doing this, is that you get something that's not quite there. Great granddaughter from the future comes to the past to our present. Works for me. All right, that looks dry, I think. So the line needs to come back up here. How's that? That's better. I'm still not thrilled with it, but it looks better. It looks a little more natural. I also need to play around with the thing. Yeah, without the line was not bad either. It was kind of interesting. I think clearly what's happening there is that the line's wrong, and so our eyes, it leaps out at us when the line's wrong. So, the line should be there, but without the line, it actually looks kind of better. So, okay, fair enough. Chalk that up to experimentation. Signed. All right, now let's try her from a different angle. This is good because I do feel like I'm getting to the point where I can draw her from multiple angles and it feels reasonably like the same character. Here we go. Shading different angles. Do we have a thing? No, we don't. That's about all they tell us. Okay, fair enough. So let's try something like this. Let's try her from a different angle and just sort of spin things around a little bit. All right. Can we kind of see? You can kind of see both of those. All right. All right. So Alice Angle. Perhaps that's her name, Alice Angle. She has all the angles. And again, because it's so useful, we mark off our paper. Man, I'm so glad we got that advice. bit of prep. Oh, I forgot. I've been usually before I start the show, I watch an episode or part of an episode of Naoki Urasawa no Manben, and I did not do that this time. All right, so start at the top, come down with the hair, the top, come down with the hair, and we have our sort of normal hair, and that's gonna come down, tuck around the ear, roughly, and then give her the hair. No, I keep forgetting it comes down pretty. All right, so we'll do something like that. Then, oh, that's interesting. See the angle there on the head. That's what I was missing before. The head comes down like this and then in near the eye. It's that thing there. That's what I was screwing up before. Okay, good. So we do, and then around the cheek. So we'll start. This feels completely off, but let's give it a start and then fix from there. Okay. So what am I doing wrong here? As usual, head is too big for the hair. So let's start the head back here. And then go in, and then come back around. That's better. Okay. Obviously, I'll have to fiddle around with the hair a little bit. I think she has slightly... Oh no, she's actually pretty... Number of bangs is an interesting sort of question. Okay. So then so we have our shape like that. Okay, cool. Then her eyes are going to be, so we have one eye sort of more over here, and then one eye here, and then eye up here, lashes, this isn't feeling right, but I have to play around with it to figure out why. Alright, so she's turned angle. Make a note of the correct section the up. Thank you, you're right. Should be eye indentation. Absolutely right. Okay, so this isn't right. That does not look like her at all. What's going on here? Hair needs to be a little fuller. That'll help. The eyes, I mean, I do need to go a little more rounded on the eyes down there. Maybe not quite that much. Yeah, that's better. Perhaps not quite as strong on the cheek. That's better. Yep. That's better. Well, let's do a little bit more of the body. So we're going to have that, and then let's see here, we'd expect the thing to be like that more. And then I'm just going to sketch in the shirt. Okay. I'm going to do our skirt. You can do the same trick as before. let's just try. No, that doesn't make sense because she wouldn't. Something like that. All right. So, yeah, missing the pinky tail on the head. And obviously the hair would come down. You might even get a bit. Well, probably like that. Yeah, that definitely helps. And a bit up there. I mean, she's looking fairly close to her, but it just doesn't feel quite right. The hair needs to be a little bit below shoulder length. You're right. Hair's too short. Good catch. And we'll about like that. Okay. Yep, you're right. That's definitely an improvement. That looks a lot more like her. Let's see here. The skirt is too long. Yep, that's closer. Okay. Okay. Left bang needs to be a little longer. Yep, actually, both the bangs. You're right. Ah, her head's gone. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. That's Alice. Thank you, Kuma. You got it. You got it. Howdy doody, brothers. Okay. Yeah, alright. Cool. Let's ink this in. This is a weird song. Okay. Her little ear there. Rest of the bangs coming down. Okay. See if we can get that shape right. Yeah, not bad. Yeah. Yeah. This is feeling good. This is feeling accurate. arms done. Change her arms a little bit. Her fists, rather. Okay. Yeah. That dress, flare it out a little bit more. Okay. Go ahead and get the foot. Again, not worried about feet. Definitely just get something for now. Okay. Thanks, Kuma. You're a big help. You are one of the big reasons I am improving this fast. So thank you. Bit of a sassy expression right now. Make that slightly stronger near the front. There's Alice. Yeah, it's both of us, you know? Collaboration. All right, yeah. I do believe we have a character. Nope. I'll go back and give her eyelashes. Feels like she should also have a bit more hair back there. Like this back here just feels a little empty. If I just did a little like that. Yeah, that just makes it look like the hair back there. Even though there might not be, you know, just that little extra little detail. And then I wanted to give her eyelashes. There we go. Cool. She's cute. Where were we? 27th March. March 18. Okay. So we got a character. Now we need someone else. Right? She needs a someone to bounce off of. It's rather boring to have a comic story or tell any sort of story with only one character. So we need someone else to be involved with. Should we have a human or an animal? I have this new animal book. What? Sorry about that. My OBS just decided to die out. So yeah, we could do sort of animal type people, but I don't think so. I think that's asking a bit much of me right now. Let's do something else. Let's have a. I think she needs. Yeah, let's have a male character. So one of the principles of comedy is that you have opposites. You know, tall and short, fat and thin. The obvious thing here would be to be cute and ugly, but I don't really want to go ugly. We can go girl and boy, certainly. Perhaps rough and tumble boy. Somebody who is a little more serious or a little more boyish, right? That might work. Let's get some inspiration here. Maybe somebody more upbeat. I think Alice feels a little quiet, a little reserved. So maybe we want somebody more sort of shonen archetype for that. Not sure. She meets Kid Brent. Now that's a little bit too weird, I think. Let's see. So, outside. Be kind of fun to have a girl who likes to stay inside, and a guy who's always dragging her outdoors. Experiencing things. Maybe she's bookish, and he's always hiking and adventuring and so forth, and kind of drags her along. That would work kind of nicely. Then you could play around a little bit with trees and such, but you don't need anything really complicated. Just a little tent in the background or whatever. I like that idea. So maybe she is a stay-at-home type, and he is an outdoors type. So we need sort of a Boy Scout uniform type. Well, that's actually, appropriate. I was actually in an Uber, and a guy thought I was wearing a Boy Scout uniform. So let's see here. We actually had something in here of a boy wearing something kind of like that. We could use as a starting point. Let's see what we can get. Yeah, kinda. Let's see. I mean, we can just kind of experiment a little bit with clothing. It'll actually be fairly similar to hers. We definitely probably want those not short shorts, but shorts. Okay, not much up here. So what can we do? Yeah, maybe just simple shorts. I do like the idea that he's constantly dirty. Maybe that's a bit too much. Let's see. What would be fun? It is always funny going through this and just noticing the differences in culture, where there's so much, the track uniform and the sumo outfit and all this stuff that we just don't see too much of over here. Let's see here. Yep, samurai. Weird character gallery. Well, not weird, but kind of crazy. Okay. So let's find some shorts. What do we got here? Fantasy characters. Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's what I was thinking of. That's what was in the back of my mind. Even though it's possibly a girl. Something like that. Those sorts of shorts and the sort of kerchief. I like that. So let's go with something along those lines, I think, for our outfit. For our male character. And let's see what we can do with him. Alright, so we do that. We'll mark this off. And maybe we'll take a pause once we get started on that. Actually, what I think I'll do, because my music is at the end, I'm going to take a quick research break to take care of my own needs, if you will. And in the meantime, let's see here. Do I have... I don't think I showed... I did show a little bit of that, I think. Oh yeah, we were showing the Superman stuff. Let me pull up one of these. It's interesting that doesn't work. Let's see. Ooh. Let's see how this looks. Huh. I have no idea what this is. It does not appear to be playing. That's weird. Uh, what's going on with that video? Weird. All right, let's try this one. Nope. All right. It's not going to work. Okay. So, we will just have to be back in a few moments. Yep. Back in a few. Weird. Okay, we're back. Yeah, stories is tough. Stories are not trivial to come up with, but you can get there. You can make it. Um, hey, Burning One, welcome. Glad to see you. Do 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 do. Yeah, you gotta. Unfortunately, everyone's first attempt at something suck. You know, your first drawing always sucks. Your first story always sucks. I wrote a really, really, really terrible fantasy novel when I was 14 years old. You but as time goes on, you learn and get better and better and better. You just have to push through the suck. Uh, so what I have right here is a failed 3D print. If you've ever wondered what 3D printing looks like when it doesn't work, this is an example of that. This is a phone holder that's shaped like a tentacle, and it was supposed to print, I guess, kind of like this, something along those lines. There's part of it, but maybe that broke off. No, that's some part of it. So there's kind of the back and the front, so something like that, and it got it actually pulled off of the build platform, so it just started getting dragged around by the print head instead of actually printing. That's why you get all this weird goop here up at the top, because it wasn't actually sticking to the print. So this is a couple hours of print, not successful. So I'm gonna have to go back and play around with that and see what's going on with the printer there, and maybe I have to fiddle with the settings to make it work quite right. So we will see. I could 3D print Alice. That's a good idea. I could come up with a little drawing. I guess it would have to be a flat surface and then sort of her raised as a design. That'd be kind of cool. Otherwise, I mean, how would she hold together? You can't really print all those lines necessarily. Certainly not the eyes and the mouth. They just fall out. So yeah, maybe a raised surface. It's a thought. Yep, this is a beret. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that happens when you 3D print things. Is they fail not infrequently, and you have to go back and play around and then figure out what happened, and then try again, and eventually it prints correctly. That's okay. I've printed all sorts of cool stuff. The fact that some things don't print well is just what you have to live with. Okay, so that's an interesting idea. I might play around a little bit with that of putting together a little like I say, like a keychain of her. That'd be fun. Yeah, we'll see. Alrighty, yeah, gotta get the merch in. Gotta sell all your merch. All right, so here is kind of right off to the side here. See if we can get this to fit without falling all over the place. Here's the outfit I'm going to start with, and we'll do our hair. I think the hair should be, I want something different for the hair, so it's not going to be the same sort of heavy bangs. So presumably we're going to have sort of more fuzzy hair. So let's figure that out as well. I don't want an afro. Will it be more smooth hair? I think it's going to be more smooth hair. And maybe something that's more... Yeah, maybe it's still bangs, but it's closer. So let's go with... with the hair. And so nice and smooth, and then I don't know, this is still feeling pretty similar. That character has huge bangs, but that seems a little hard to draw. So maybe let's just try a bunch of little fuzzy things like that. Give them sort of a bowl cut. We will pull the head down like that. Head down like this. Again, just sort of experimenting a little bit for now. And then we do our our thing. And we'll just do a quick. Okay. Not crazy about that. So first off, let's pull his hair in like this. Make it a little less of a bowl cut. Yeah, not crazy about that. Hat. Hat is an excellent idea. Yeah, he's outside all the time. Let's give him the hat. Let's give him. Let's see here. Do we have any hat examples? Yeah. So we will. First off, we'll make it a little more pronounced. Then we'll give him a hat that goes maybe it goes all the way down here. Should we give him like a fedora? Something like that. That's kind of crazy. What hats do we have? Hey, Yakushiki! I have not picked up Shadow of the Colossus. I've got so many games to play. What's the, let me see time to beat on Shadow of the Colossus. 10 hours. Wow. Yeah, I may have to wait on Shadow of the Colossus for a while. Too many other games to play. So, do we have some good examples of hats? Because that isn't feeling quite right to me. What do we do here? There's some... Ah, there we go. Bandana. I like that as well. Okay. Yeah, the hat should be pretty tight. That makes sense. Otherwise, we'll go all over the place. Like a Link hat. That'd be funny. Maybe... So let's try... I actually kind of like the fedora. I do wear a fedora, by the way, which is ridiculous. The original today. Goggles. Classic. He's outdoorsy. So... Fedora kind of makes sense, or like a straw hat kind of a thing. Something to keep the sun out of your face. You don't see a lot of guys wearing straw hats, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. See if we have any. Yeah, there's your goggles. These are more fantasy characters. A helmet. Don't think we'll go with a helmet. Okay. A baseball cap. Baseball cap's kind of classic. Let's think. Ooh, nice. Nearly picked up the original used game store. Yeah, from what I've heard, the new version is just, everything you'd want it to be. Superior in practically every sense. Okay. So, tell you what, let's do. Let's hold off on the hat for a minute and play around first with the rest of his outfit. I can do a bunch of different hat designs. So we'll just give him a shirt with a... I think he's got like a sweater or something wrapped around like this character. So let's do that. We'll just do a little... essentially just a cross like that. And then that goes out like that. And then it's sort of just tied, and we get a... Yeah, that kind of gives you a Boy Scout vibe. And then we have our... And we'll do that a little bit more. In towards... He's got to have a belt. A little buckle on. Give him a belt. And then these pants. And I do like this idea that the pants have this rolled up seam underneath. That's just, there's something very outdoorsy about that. Got your pockets. And then we have I think we'll pull these out. So this guy's got long sleeve shirts on. He's gonna have a short sleeve, I think. Again, simple fists. That's not right. It's a very awkward angle. That's too. What am I doing wrong? I think the shorts are too. Yeah, torso's too long for. Okay, I need to fix that. There we go. Then we have the buckle. And then the seam. Seam's now too long. Seam should go down about there. Then we have our shorts. Yeah, that's feeling a little bit more seems reasonable. Little Luffy-like. Yeah, that's not inaccurate. Okay, let's. As cute as you are, Alice, you're no longer part of the story. Yeah, I do like this general outfit idea. Okay. So let's figure out the hat. So, SD practice. Again, we'll need a name. Alice. Maybe a B name. Barry. Beauregard. Beauregard's not bad. Biff. Keeping with that opposites thing, instead of Alice is 2 syllables, so it'll be either 1 or 3 syllables. I like Beauregard. I'm not totally set on Beauregard. But that's just a weird name. Apologies to all you Beauregards out there, but it's just anachronistic and different enough. Bray, yeah. Brandon. Bob. Bill. I don't get and Boris. That's not bad. That's not bad. And you have the bore aspect. You know, you're boring. Boris. Brent. Yeah. I don't think I want to go Bob or Bill. If there are things like that, things that are too generic, because Alice is already a fairly generic name. So I'd like to go with something a little less common. Well, we'll think about it. Meanwhile, let's figure out hats. Hat practice. So I have probably another half an hour of experimentation here. So let's just do a quick. So what's interesting here is you had these sports characters. Well, let's just show you the sports characters. That's weird. Okay, whatever. And the hats, as you can see, basically completely cover the hair. So we'll have to do that. Benny Goodman. Ben, Benny, Benjamin. So the advantage of that is you have multiple different versions of Ben. Benny Goodman. Jack Benny. Jack. Hmm. Jack and Alice. Hmm. Goodman. Hmm. Will. Barry. Barry's not bad. 2 syllables, but it's a little archaic. Barry. Barry. Let me just scribble that down. Uncle Ben. No. Torchica. Yes. Ben. Barry. Balder. He has to carry around a gate with him all the time. Or find a gate or something. Torchica, that's funny. All right, so I'm just gonna draw a basically the bottom of a head, a terrible bottom of a head, and then just put a baseball hat on there. And it should probably be up like this little cap thing, and then your cap. All right, so yeah, I don't like the baseball hat idea too much so far. Let's try. Oh, whoa! What is that line? Where'd that come from? Again, not a great head, but just enough to kind of get started. So then we have our fedora would come down. Actually, then we get the rim of our fedora. And then kind of like this. That's not bad. Giving him a fedora constantly. It's kind of funny. Bison, Bartholomew, Bart. Yeah, and the fedora is again sort of Boy Scoutish. So maybe not a full fedora, but something kind of like this, close enough. Like we said, wide enough to keep the sun out of your eyes. Just enough to be a little weird. And we'll put a little rim around it. Yeah, I think that'll do. Let's try a few more things, just see what happens. We can do the baseball hat, baseball cap to the side. You have the little shock of hair coming out. Now he just looks like now he just looks like a '90s kid though. Bosworth. So yeah, I think the baseball cap to the side isn't nice. So baseball cap, fedora. What are some of the other suggestions? Bond. Of course, Luffy has the straw hat. Why didn't I think of that? Cowboy hat. Yeah. Or a beret. Yeah, I mean, Indiana Jones is, of course, the classic fedora guy. So let's try, just for fun. Giant Alice. Monkey D. Luffy. How does that straw hat work? Okay. Oh, dang, this is... now that Google Images doesn't link directly to the image anymore, it's kind of not as useful anymore. So yeah, that's actually not dissimilar to the fedora. Borat. So we do basically, so the hat just basically just a curve, and then comes around. Whoa. Kind of like that. With a little red sash. Be a little bigger than that. Yeah, not bad, but not quite right. Yeah, I think the fedora is the way you got to go. Indiana Jones-ish kind of a character. All right, cool. Yeah, straw hat is down here. Doesn't really excite me. I think we've got. I think we got that with the fedora. Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom. So yeah, so I think let's go back to him and give him something a little closer to a fedora. And be slightly cat-eared there. There's his fedora. Let's check that. Fedora, man wearing fedora. Nothing wrong with the lady wearing a fedora, but that's kind of where I'm going with this. Yeah, see, that's basically, oh, interesting. It's actually, I mean, you can have the curve in the middle and look kind of douchey. That's more like it. Okay, yeah. So we'll just make it kind of more like this maybe? A little more. See, it curves in kind of precipitously. Now it feels like it needs those curves. Okay. I think it's one of those things where, you know, it wouldn't technically have these curves, but those curves tell you fedora. Ooh. Bartholomew, Francis Drake, Marco Polo. That's a good idea to go with something reminiscent of a famous explorer. Mark. Francis. Francis is good. Francis is a little strange. Beerus. Banjo. Oh, Francis. He has a bit of a Francis feel to him. I like that. Yeah, Beelzebub I think would would freak people out a little bit too much. It feels like it's a little out of focus. Maybe I'm just a little too sensitive. That's about as focused as it can get. Okay. Balthazar. Named after one of the great Battlestar Galactica villains. I recently rewatched some of the original Battlestar Galactica from the late 70s, and that show holds up pretty well. You definitely have to get in the mood of a, you know, big budget 70s sci-fi TV show, which is a very specific sort of thing where it's like, okay, this is, you know, it's not Star Trek, it's not Star Wars, it's very much its own thing. Um, but you know, it's tense at times, it's funny at times. There's some strong acting in it, and there's plot. Like things happen that then change things, and like they refer to them in later episodes. You know, stuff actually happens to characters and so forth. So I was actually fairly impressed. I mean, it's an adventure show. But okay, yeah. So I think we have our little guy. Let's try inking him in and see what we get. So yeah, I like the little fuzzy hair. I think he's gonna have just the short little fuzzy hair. All right. So let's make that a little less pronounced. Then come over here. And give him his fedora. I like that it's a little droopy. I don't know if we'll keep that or not, but I like it. I'm not totally sold on his sort of character design and shape, but I think as a starting point, you know, I don't think this is exactly the character, but I think we're getting close. I think we've got something here worthy enough to record. So we'll give him, actually I'm going to give him a little bit of a high collar there. We have, in fact, what I'm going to do here as well is just, yeah, I'm not going to go all the way with that, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we come around here. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, it definitely feels like a scout. And give him his shirt. Shirt tucked in to his belt. Make that belt a little bigger. Like that idea. Belt. I think this belt buckle is going to be important. It just feels like it. Those upturned shorts. I just really love that. There's just something both cute and I don't know about it. It just feels right. Like I said, eventually we'll get to feet. Feel a little self-conscious about not getting the feet right, but it just doesn't feel like it's that important. All right. Give him slightly skinny arms. I think also he's not necessarily good at stuff outside. So I think he's going to be fairly skinny. And we can kind of chalk that up to some extent with him being a kid. Do we do eyes? Yeah, let's give him eyes. Buckle of Sir Drake's coin in Uncharted. That's a good idea. Let's play around with the eyes a bit. I think we'll do the same kind of thing we did before with Alice. Ooh, that is way too small. Not way too small, but too small. Make those eyes bigger and give him larger. There we go. I need a better expression for him too. He's surprised, he's not horrified. So let's do something that will be appropriate. Give him some expression. Not finding anything really correct here so far. Maybe ooh, yeah, that's him. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think he's he's loud. Let's do something more. Do we want upper teeth? I think we do on him. Should he have goggles on his fedora? He should. He's got, yeah. You're right, Kuma. He has to have goggles on his fedora. Where were the examples of goggles? Yeah, okay. Something like that, maybe? Alright, I need to look this up. Anime goggles. No. Rounded. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's what I'm doing wrong there. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be it. Okay, so let's give him a face. Get in those eyes. Come on. Shine. Give him a little nose. Yeah, yep. Yep. feel like they would be a little more... Yeah, they come down like that a bit. And then that's going to need... Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. That's got to be it. Let me see how we would do... Maybe, yeah. Yeah, he's totally got goggles on his hat. That's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have Francis. Francis absolutely rocks. That's hilarious. That is really cool. I can't tell you how happy I am with that. All right, I'm going to quit when I'm ahead. I agree, Kuma. I think this was... We made some great progress this week. I've got a couple good drawings here. And from this point on, we can go and... so next week, we will do a few more drawings of Francis, get him from multiple angles. I think we'll also try Alice from other angles, like from above down and bottom up. You know, get some stuff that's not just, you know, facing right down at the character. So get the characters from a couple different angles, and then we can start doing some actual stories with these characters, playing around with that. Also, it'll be interesting, another thing to play around with, this is important, shrinking the character down. So I don't know what this character looks like when I've only got so much space, and I'll have to lose a little bit of that detail. So that'll be a good thing to play around with. You probably won't see his hair as much, stuff like that. Cool! This is so exciting. We are making progress on this, and we're going to have some characters here pretty soon. Thanks, Kuma, for joining me. Thank you, anyone else watching this now and later. And yeah, we're going to have something come out of this here pretty soon. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. So thanks, Kuma. Thanks, everyone. And we'll be back. Should be back next week with more. See you then. Bye-bye.